Do you ever take the time to explain your illness to someone in great detail, only for them to immediately turn around and say, "No, actually, with my medical expertise, I think you actually have this"? Okay, well, maybe people aren't quite that direct, but you get the idea. And if you've had a chronic illness for any length of time, you've probably experienced something like this. And in this video, we are going to discuss why this little comment is so irritating. But first, welcome back to Fitness with an Illness and Happy New Year. On this channel, we typically like to talk about chronic illness, navigating that chronic illness, and pursuing better health despite that chronic illness. If that sounds interesting to you, I would really appreciate it if you consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out, and who knows, maybe it'll help you in your own health journey as well. Thank you. Now, back to the video. All right, so yes, the idea of people dismissing the diagnosis that you and your entire team of doctors has come up with is actually a much bigger problem than you might think. Because, well, everyone always thinks that they have the answer and that you do not. And it's also difficult for people to accept the fact that some illnesses are chronic. Yes, for the people in the back, a chronic illness is defined as a long-term health condition that lasts for a year or more and often requires ongoing medical care. Examples include diabetes, heart disease, and arthritis, which can significantly impact daily life and activities. That means it goes on for a very long time. Got it? And some chronic conditions still have the potential for a cure, or at the very least, significant improvement in the quality of life if you know how to manage them well. But others, well, that's a bit more complicated. And that is what some people don't seem to be able to accept. Everyone thinks there must be some magic pill, some supplement, or even an exotic herb that I just need to eat, and then I will suddenly be healed. Oh, Karen, if only it were that simple. These people seem to believe that we are only still sick because we simply aren't trying hard enough, or we haven't spent enough money, or haven't seen the right doctor. But don't you worry, because they know a guy who's going to fix you right up. Because obviously, their doctor is far, far better than your doctor. And yes, I understand that I'm being a little bit harsh right now. But I want you to stop and think about it from our end really quick. From the perspective of someone who is chronically ill. What makes you think we haven't scoured the internet, tried dozens of supplements, tried different medications, seen our primary care doctor, a naturopath, a functional medicine, or whatever other kind of medical name you can throw at us? Because trust me, we've tried them. At least most of them. In my case, I've been sick for 3 years now. Do you really think I'm just sitting at home twiddling my thumbs, waiting for a cure to fall out from the sky? No, of course not. But I also want you to understand something else. We can't try every doctor and every cure at the same time. Because number one, that's way too expensive. And number two, if you throw too many solutions at the problem all at once, you're never actually going to know what helped in the first place. I experienced this firsthand the very first year that I was sick. Within the first few months of being sick, I had awful symptoms that were extremely debilitating and hard to manage. I saw all kinds of doctors and people gifted me all kinds of supplements and ideas, and all of a sudden we started throwing all kinds of spaghetti at the wall. And you know what? I did start to improve a little bit. But the problem was I couldn't maintain all of those various treatments at one time. I had been taking about 14 different supplements, a prescription medication, eating healthy, I was doing meditations, and then I also wonder if my body shaking was actually a natural response that maybe helped improve my condition, not to mention the cold showers I was taking every day, or was there some other treatment I forgot about that was also helping me improve? And the list just goes on and on. You see what I mean? So part of the last couple of years for me has simply been looking back on that time and trying to figure out which of those treatments was actually helping me. Was it the supplements? Was it the cold water? Etc. And by going back in a much slower pattern, I've been able to figure out that things like meditation and cold water, or really anything that helps calm the nervous system, actually does seem to give me some kind of improvement. But I never would have figured that out if I hadn't stopped throwing spaghetti at the wall and actually taken one little piece at a time to figure out what was actually helping me. And by taking a step back and only looking at one of these solutions at a time, I've been able to narrow in on what the core issue of my chronic fatigue might be, my nervous system. But again, I would not have been able to figure this out if I didn't take a step back and try these things one at a time. It's basically like doing personal clinical trials on yourself and trying to figure out which of these solutions are actually giving me improvement in my health and which ones are not. And to those who are not chronically ill, I want you to understand something. The person who is sick, they want to get better more than anyone else. Our lives have been completely turned upside down. We have lost life experiences and memories. Trust me, we want to get better more than anyone else. And I think at the very least, it is a little naive and even arrogant to think that you are putting in more time and more energy and more effort than the person who is sick. You have no idea how many hours I personally have spent poring over the internet, poring over books, trying to figure out what is going to help chronic fatigue syndrome. Believe me, we are trying our best. Okay, but now I want to address those of us who are sick, because we have a part in this conversation too. That's right, we're not off the hook. You see, the people who are offering solutions, they are usually just trying to help, and they mean well. And I know sometimes people don't always communicate things in the best or most loving way possible, but at the end of the day, I think they do typically want to help us feel better, and their intentions are good. There are more people cheering for you in your corner than you might think, and we have to be careful to not push away the few who do actually care. Because with a chronic illness, you know that our friend group can shrink in no time. So don't push away the few people who still actually show some kind of interest in your condition and want to help you achieve better health. I'm not saying this just for you, I'm saying this for me too, so that I have to actually hear the words coming out of my mouth. Because it's all too easy to have a cynical state of mind and look at everything in a negative light, even when people are trying to help me. I feel like in the last few months, I've really been realizing how mentally my illness has taken a toll on me in regards to my patience and just having a more negative view on things, which is not normal for me at all. And that's something that I have to combat. It's something I think all of us with a chronic illness have to strive to rise above. I think the longer an illness goes on, it's understandable to get a little bit more frustrated with the whole ordeal, but we have to still find a way to pull ourselves up out of the sand and look at the positives in our situation. I know that's challenging, but it's going to be better for all of us in the long run. So I'm saying this for all the sick people in the room. Be gracious to those people who still care about you. I know that sometimes it's hard and it can be frustrating repeating yourself every time someone asks you, have you tried this or have you done that? But I promise you that they mean well. Okay? And with that, my friends, I just want to say thank you so much for spending part of your day here with me. I really appreciate it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video or found it encouraging in some way, I would really appreciate it if you consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out, and it would be great to have you join this community of people striving for better health, regardless of what life throws at them. With that, my friends, thank you so much. God bless. Please take care, and we will see you in the next one. Adios.